With me, the excitement is a very dangerous element. Woo! And it made messies. Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are working on the Ford service truck transmission. We're going to tear it all down in this episode and refurbish and rebuild it probably in the next episode. I will admit the next couple episodes are going to be probably pretty boring, but for the few people who have never seen the inside of an automatic transmission, it might be fun for you guys to see what makes them tick. We have three major components that we are going to refurbish, replace, or upgrade on this thing. Number one, of course, is the valve body. We'll put a stage 1/stage 2 shift kit in it. Transgo is the flavor that I'm using. The second part we're going to be replacing is the planetary gear set. From the factory, the C6, at least the gassers, I don't know about the diesels. The gassers had a 3 planetary gear set. We're going to be upgrading that with a 4 planetary gear set. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about if you guys never seen it. Basically, you can transmit more power through more gears with less strain on those planetary gear set bearings. And then finally, we will be upgrading, the last big upgrade will be the high/reverse drum on this transmission. From the factory, the Ford high/reverse drum comes only with 3 friction clutch plates. We will be upgrading that with the Lincoln factory high/reverse drum, which has 4 friction plates from the factory. And what they do is they basically cut the ring groove higher so you can stack more junk in there. So from the factory, this should probably have 3 plates on the high/reverse gear clutch pack. We're going to go from 3 plates to, I believe, the Lincoln. If you use stock steels and thin friction plates, you can actually go all the way up to 6 friction plates. And the reason why I want to do that is in case this thing gets laden down with a lot of tools, a generator, if I go hog wild, I got to go somewhere far and trailer a car home. I don't want third gear slipping, right? That's our cruising gear, and I need that thing pretty robust. So we'll be upgrading that. So those are the big 3 components. There might be some bits and bobs we'll replace as well. So let us go ahead and tear this thing down and see what we got. If you guys ever feel like doing this on your own, my video is for entertainment purposes only. This video might help you be enlightened as to what is in these things. 2 is also for me to record it, so when I get it back in the truck and it doesn't work, I know what's wrong with it by reviewing the video footage. Alright, I think that's all I want to say. Let's go ahead and start tearing it down. Alright, so step 1 is removing the valve body. I've already taken the liberty of draining everything out. Go ahead and buzz this off right quick. Where's the other one? There's the other one. The oil seems to be in pretty good condition. It's pretty red. It doesn't smell burnt. It's got a good crimson color to it. So that's a good sign that it's a low mileage transmission, or at least has had it serviced at least once in its life. Alright, step 2 is removing the retaining bolts. So it should be those. Is that 3/8? I don't know. Yes. Alright. Roll it. Alright, let's go ahead and remove the valve body. think, is it these two down here? There's this one. Oh, that was it. I will say, when you're tearing down a transmission, an automatic transmission, oil's going to leak everywhere. So I have my catch pan below me, but even on the workbench, these things will literally ooze and leak for days. So grab yourself a lot of rags, a lot of drip pans. It's usually fairly nasty. There we go. One valve body removed. That looks really clean in there. That's great. As Tony the Tiger once said. I will say, if you all decide to try to tear apart an automatic transmission down, the older ones are actually not that difficult per se. Just go step by step, keep everything ordered and organized the way you pulled it out of the transmission. So I'll just put the valve body here, and I like to pull the drums out as they come out of the transmission and set them directly down so I know the orientation is a bit better. Steps 2 and 3, normally the book wants you to check in play for your gear set, but we'll see about doing that after reassembly, because we're going to change a few bit of the innards. Go ahead and remove your servo. That should pop out. There's a spring supposed to be in there. I don't want to get too crazy with that. Leave one bolt in, because there's a little spring in there. Kind of have to be wary of it. This one came out without any excitement. That's all right. With me, the excitement is a very dangerous element. Woo! And it made missies. All right. Notice what I said about automatic transmissions, they always leak oil when you're disassembling them. I guarantee you. Okay. And pull said spring out. Set that aside. Yeah. Next, take your input shaft. It should just pull right out. We're going to go ahead and loosen all the bolts for our pump. So these things can be a bit of a bugger. Fortunately with the C6s, you can grab your pry bar, per the book. You can actually get underneath your sun gear assembly, your drum here, under this guy, and just simply pop it loose. Just like that. There we go. Pump is now officially loose. There you go. One pump. Now before you start pulling everything out, go ahead and get your band loosened up, which is located here. These shims, or wedges if you will, you need to loosen those up. Get the band 100% loose. So in order to get your band all the way loose, there's your adjusting nut, if you will, or assembly. Go ahead and loosen that up. Alright, let's go ahead and just... Ooh, oh really? Oh, there we go. Right. And of course you can see it's slacking up nicely. When you pull it out enough, your wedge will come right out. Okay. So all it does is this wedge here, this is your adjuster. Obviously it just pushes the wedge and adjusts your tautness of your band. Go ahead and remove those. Okay, and you can go ahead and get your other one out. Maybe. Okay, there we go. Just gotta rotate it around, fiddle around with it. The other side of the wedge will drop out. Go ahead and, well, first of all, you can take this bushing that comes off the forward pump. It is notched, so it's kind of hard to mess up. If you got it upside down, obviously it won't quite fit. Notch side up. Also, at the same time, if you want, you can go ahead and remove your band. Now, I got the two tangs from the band right here. Squeeze them together and they'll just pop out like thusly. Excellent. Then the fun part begins, and rather easy part, and you'll start pulling your forward gear assembly out. Okay. This would be the forward high and reverse drum. So basically, your gear number 3 and your reverse come through here. As you can see, it is a factory Ford drum because it only has 3 friction plates in there. I'm not sure if I'll be able to show all. Oh, there you go. So you can count them right there. Right there. 3 different clutch plates. Which would be okay. I could probably get away with 3. But since I got the engine transmission already, you know, it's out of there. Just, you know, it's so easy to go ahead and just do a light refurbishment. It's definitely worth upgrading. Go ahead and set that aside. So then you can take your forward clutch assembly bugger here and your sun gear assembly. This is basically where the planetary gear set resides. And pull it out. And when you do that, there'll be a bushing on the bottom side, FYI. Before we set it aside, if you guys are curious, this is where that planetary gear set we're going to be upgrading on resides. Right here. I'll show this in a future video, the next installment or two. Basically, you've got 1, 2, and 3 ring gear or planetary gears. They make upgrades that you can put a 4 carrier or even a 5 carrier in here, so you have 5 gears. We're just going to put the 4 in here because we're not drag racing or anything. 4 will definitely be a lot more stout than the 3 planetaries that are on here. I do recommend picks when you're rebuilding transmissions. They work out extremely well. Well, that ain't gonna work. Fine, small screwdriver. Small screwdriver has been obtained. Twist to loosen it up from the groove. And then, if you are mechanically sound with your hands, unlike me, just get it out of there. Well, come on. Just get it going. We got a place to go. People see problems to cause with this rig. There we go. Now we got her started. Let's go ahead and just gently pull her around. Have to push in a little bit. There you go. Big snap ring out. Go ahead and remove your rear planetary snap ring here. There we go. There we go. Now I should be able to pull some more fun goodies out. That is in really good condition. That is in pretty golly gosh darn good condition. I do like that. There's also a third snap ring on your output shaft you have to remove. But these are always usually the most bugger type. Oh, you're gonna be loads of fun. There we go. Stretch it out just enough I can get the pick under the ring. Snap ring. Okay, now if I do this carefully enough, we might just have it. There we go. Oh! No, no, no. Stay, stay. Ooh, it's close, it's close. Let's go ahead and just get a screwdriver underneath there right quick. Oh, this is going to take me a hot minute. There you go. It's a little bit of perseverance. And for about, what, $7 or so from Harbor Freight, you can take off with just a couple of picks. I basically was able to pull that just enough where I can slip the snap ring over my pick. Okay, I think we can pull some more junk out. Can actually pull, I should be able to pull more than just that out. There we go. Okay. There we go. There's another. There's where our one-way roller bearings are. I think those are going to get an upgrade on those too. Then you go ahead and remove your clutch packs. Like thusly. Look pretty nice. I don't see anything major catastrophic going on there. Go ahead and remove another bushing, or thrust bearing, I guess, if you want to call it. So let's go ahead. Now that we have most of the weight over, actually our transmission stand will support this in a 90-degree position without hurting ourselves. Get ready to rotate. Here we go. You want to put your locking it back in. There we go. Oh, come on. Why aren't you locking in? There it goes. That fully dropped. Yes. Technically, I think step one was to move your vacuum accumulator right here. So let's go ahead and unbutton a few things. Go ahead and remove our transmission mount. Ooh, I'm going to have to order a new one of those. I forgot to take a look at this one. It's probably original figures. Alright, so far, no major problems. Only in real time, I'm only about an hour into this silly thing. Okay, that should come right off. Excellent. Let's go ahead and buzz off our vacuum accumulator right quick, which is technically step one, but it doesn't really matter in this particular case. Okay. Careful, you got a little rod right here. Make sure that comes out with your hold down clamp. And remove your throttle valve in there. Go ahead and just very gently work it out. Should just pretty much slide right out. You really shouldn't have too much difficulty with it. Like that. There is your throttle valve for your vacuum accumulator. Next, we're going to go ahead and remove our tail housing now. One tail housing off. Now we can slide output shaft from assembly case. Nothing's attached. You just pull it directly out. There you go. That's where your governor is at. Now we're going to remove the bolts for the distributor sleeve off. I believe you just gently pry up on your transmission tubes here. These are, I believe, aluminum, so don't get too stupid crazy with them. Just nice and gentle. There we go. So, looks like they actually just slide out. Just if you go gently prying on them, just do it very gently. Next, go ahead and remove your 5 bolts back here. That's basically the last bit. And that's for the one-way clutch inner race hub. Gotta get those knocked loose. There we go. So what I did just then was a time-saving effort. I don't really recommend it. It's not by the book. But here's a top view of what I did. Again, this video is for entertainment purposes only. If you want to glean a little bit of insight to what's inside a C6, here you go. So this is our hub. This goes to our inner race for a one-way clutch. Those are your 5 bolt holes we just took off. Those get shoved down. The holes go down. And those other 5 holes. Okay. Then the springs are face downwards. And then right where the bottom end of this inner hub is where the snap ring goes. Now, obviously, when we reinstall it, I will need to use a spring compressor tool to push those springs down and lock the snap ring in place. Again, it was a shortcut because I'm feeling really lazy. I've done it before and it was just fine. Again, entertainment purposes only. But that's how those 3 little buggers get off. And then all you do is apply compressed air and that piston will pop off. Alright, so to pop that piston out, that bugger right there, you want to use your low reverse apply, just shop air. And it should, in theory, pop right out. Just like that. I'm just grabbing some needles, pliers, and just trying to grab the edge here. There you go. And your rear piston is out. Go ahead and flip her back up and remove our shift linkages and accessories, such as your neutral safety switch, etc. You see? It keeps oozing. I'm telling you guys. Lots of floor dry or cat litter and the cat's pan. We'll go ahead and remove our rear parking brawl springs and accessories. Okay. Retaining plate, I guess you can call it. Now before you get gung-ho crazy and start pulling out all your springs, take a note on their position right quick. Take a picture. In this case, I've got tape, aka video. We know how the orientation looks like, so now we'll go ahead and pull our springs off. Pick up your spring that you dropped on the ground. Remove your parking prawl, lever I guess you'd call it on this side, and idle shaft I guess you might call that, pivot shaft, whatever. Set those aside right quick. Without dropping it on the concrete floor, go ahead and set those aside. We'll go ahead and leave this spring in here. It's got a little cap you can take off here. It's just some mushed over aluminum, but I don't see much point in just removing that little bit. Not necessary, in my opinion. You're welcome to do yours if you want. Let's go ahead and rotate this down back 90 and get the rest of our shift linkage out. Normally I wouldn't have minded just leaving the linkage in to clean it, but I do believe that there is bushing gasket or whatever inside of here that we'll need to get to. So I have no clue. I don't want to look it up because I'm being too lazy what this hook is called. But anyways, pull this hook thingy out. Set that aside. Oh, fine, I'll look it up. That hook thing is called, that is your downshift lever. Right. Okay, going up to the 13/16. So if that doesn't work, we'll just keep ratcheting up to the 7/8. Okay, let's try the 7/8. That's a winner chicken dinner. What am I, 5? Oh, yes. Yes, I am. All right. Okay, that broke loose a little too easily. All right. There we go. There's our outer shift linkage pulled out, and the inner. And I didn't even have to remove that seat clamp. Excellent. There's our gasket that we gotta pull out of there for our shift linkage. Pull that out right quick. Here we go. Let's use a pick. Out it gets. Excellent. And for the last bit, we're going to go ahead and remove our bushings. We'll clean the case up, and then after the case cleanup, we'll install new bushings. Before you remove bushings like this, or on the drums, or other critical pieces of machinery, pay attention to how deep these bushings go in. Okay? Now, as you can see here, the edge of the bushing is at the very bottom of this tapered piece of aluminum on the housing. Okay, just make a note of that. That's your depth where you'll set the new ones. All that's left is the bearings, or the bushings rather. I've already removed the inner one. I'm just going to remove the outer one here with my little blind hole slide hammer removal tool. Now remember, those bushings are fairly soft. You shouldn't have to wrap on it too hard, right? Here we go. Just like that. So this slide hammer, in case you're wondering, it's an OTC 4581. It's not, it's the Stinger series. I'm not endorsed by them, but they do make some good quality tools. This thing actually comes with a set. And I think it does 1/2 inch inside diameter all the way to 1 1/8 diameter. So it has a 4 different adapter, I don't know what we call them, jaws or whatever, blind hole tool, and this simply expands. So when you back this out, you'll see the diameter start to shrink. That's your adjusted. So you can adjust to multiple different sizes. I really like it, guys. I really do like this. First time using it, but it works great, especially for those buggers. This is a soft aluminum housing. You don't want to be gouging your punches in there and dinging everything up. And now let's give the case a bath. I do not have a parts washer, so we're going to use my power washer instead. And all I did was put the wash tip in it, which will allow low pressure soap to come in from a reservoir and spray it all down. Nice with low pressure, drawing suds, aka soap, from the tank. It would be nice if my pressure washer had a hot water kit on it, but it doesn't. But we'll rinse it off with hot water at the very end.
In case you guys are wondering how I got hot water into this hose, all I did is hook up to my hot water here. So if you do that, you can rinse off with 120 or 130 degree water. A little life hack there for you guys.
And for the last event, air dry it all down. And there you have it. One transmission. Pretty gosh darn clean on the inside. Ready for reassembly. Fair warning, if you do it this way, you got your detent spring here for your column shift, which is the roller, I believe, is mild steel. You have your idler bar that keeps this spring in. And I left the intermediate band bracket installed along with the mild steel here. Oil these up before you walk away, because that is mild steel and you do not want that to flash rust on you. Filled up the cap on the ATF jug and I just simply sprinkled some on there and rolled it. And I put the oil here and here. If you wanted to be extremely particular, you'd actually drive that pin out and put it back in, but I'm a little too lazy. We're going to start reassembling this here fairly soon, so I'm not too terribly worried about it. Ready for the rebuild process. Well, thank you everybody for watching. This concludes the tearing down episode, or sesh if you will. I'm going to go ahead and sign off for now. I'll work on the reinstallation episode for this. If you don't see this episode in a few weeks, it's because I ran into some snags. When you put these transmissions together, there's sloppiness, clearances you need to watch out for with feeler gauges. And if I got to order a different size, then that might be a couple of weeks before, knowing how our mail is running slowly. It'll take a little while to get those parts in here. So there might actually be a Chrysler New Yorker fuel management rebuild or rebuilding of the fuel system on the Chrysler New Yorker episode pop up for this. I don't know. I'm actually doing both of them side by side. We'll see which one gets done first because I don't have the live. Thank you everybody for watching. Appreciate it, and we'll catch you next time. I will say, if you guys do tear apart non-mag transmission down, the older ones are not too hard, but the key is keep everything in order. I prefer to pull everything out and set it down how I put it in, or how I pull it out. Wow. Next, you put cat litter down, or floor dry, for your messes that you made. The adjustment. Wow. There we go. Do I not do that snap ring gear? Snap ring too? Okay. There is a third ring gear. Snap ring. There. So a little bit of effort and about $7 worth of picks. A lock pick. Hey. Before you take off your springs for your parking brawl, you want to focus the camera so that the audience can actually see what in the blooming blazes you're doing. Do they have it on like this? It was facing up, sideways. Ha! Oh goodness, this is fun.